This is a Kearney Board of Aldermen meeting. Call the meeting order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunday, have you had a chance to take roll?
I have taken roll. Everyone is present. You have the form.
Thank you. We'll move on to public hearings, new employee introductions, and personal appearances. First item this evening is a public hearing to receive public comments on a proposed amendment to enact new chapters of the municipal code, including Chapter 236 pertaining to erosion and sediment control on Chapter 237 pertaining to illicit discharge and connections to the storm water system. If you wish to speak for or against the proposed amendment to Chapter 236 and 237, we'll have you come forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and then I will grant you access to the floor. See nobody move for public comment or public input, we'll close that item. Next item on the agenda is new employee introductions, and I believe we have Captain Allen here this evening who will introduce, it says 2 new patrol officers, but I think we have 1 returning and one new one, so I'll turn it over to you.
Correct. Mayor, members of the board, we hired 2 new officers. I'd like to introduce them. You guys will step on up here. First here on the right is Kyle Fulkerson. He will now be a part-time officer. Kyle was here several years with us. We've been trying to get him back for some time. We just now were able to do that. He currently works full-time with State of Missouri Liquor Control. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
Full-time officer Tad Bradshaw. He's been with us for 3 or 4 weeks. Just got out on the road, started working with his FTO officer. He's now been involved with 2 felony stolen vehicle arrests. And he's about a week or 2 into this. His brother is actually the high school girls basketball coach here.
Assistant varsity coach.
Okay, so that's his kind of connection. So,
Well, good to have another Bradshaw here in the Bulldog family, and Kyle, we're excited to welcome you back to the family as well, sir. So we appreciate you both and glad to have you.
Glad to be back. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure you guys have families and other things to get to. You're more than welcome to stay for the entirety of the meeting, but now is a good time to excuse yourself if you would like to. Thanks for being here. Thank you. Yep. Next item this evening is the World Elder Abuse Proclamation, which will be received by Miss Marie Steiner, our friend Marie here, representing the Clay County Senior Services Board. If Sheila could read the proclamation, and then, I'm sorry, would you like a moment to speak before or after? Yeah, go ahead. We'll give you the podium now.
First off, as you know, I always have something to give to you. So I will do it this way. If you'll take one and pass it around. And I understand that Sunday's already handed out the brochure. Okay. As the mayor has announced, I'm Marie Steiner. I'm on the board with Clay County Senior Services. This year, the theme for World Elder Abuse Awareness Day is Building Stronger Support for Elders. Take action today to prevent and address elder abuse and neglect by engaging older people, empowering communities, speak out, and involve the youth. You ask, what can I do to show appreciation for our elders? You can call an elder you know that maybe has no conversation because they have no one that visits them. Volunteer a day to deliver Meals on Wheels. You don't have to commit yourself to a whole month, a week. You can do just one trip, one day. Visit a retirement facility. There are many older adults who have no visitors. Visit a senior center for lunch. I know the mayor recently visited the senior center here in Kearney. You'll be surprised at the camaraderie that is there at the senior center. Don't dismiss us. We have a lot to share and a lot of knowledge. When we dismiss our elders, we are missing an opportunity to learn how to get to know to be this age. I saw in the news recently a 104-year-old elder. He was at the top of his game with archery. There's an example of we are older, but we certainly aren't waiting for life journey to end. The brochure that was handed out earlier is helpful. You should need to report neglect, abuse, self-neglect, or exploitation. And last, I have made this little place card to remind you to wear purple on Monday, June 15th, World Abuse Awareness Day. Thank you, Mayor.
I like, Marie, how you gave us no excuse, a nice little ribbon.
Exactly.
So
Picked up on that.
no excuses for
Picked
us.
up on the purple.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. If we could read the proclamation, and then we'd like to welcome a photo op with the board as well.
All right, please.
A proclamation recognizing World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Whereas older adults deserve to be treated with respect and dignity to enable them to serve as leaders, mentors, volunteers, and vital participating members of our communities. And whereas in 2006, the International Network for the Prevention of Elder Abuse, in support of the United Nations International Plan of Action, proclaimed a day to recognize the significance of elder abuse as a public health and human rights issue. And whereas June 15, 2026 marks the 21st Annual World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. Its recognition promotes a better understanding of abuse and neglect of older adults. And whereas ageism and social isolation are major causes of elder abuse in the United States. And whereas recognizing that it is up to all of us to ensure that proper social structures exist so people can retain community and societal connections, reducing the likelihood of abuse. And whereas preventing abuse of older adults through maintaining and improving social supports like senior centers, human services, and transportation will allow everyone to continue to live as independently as possible and contribute to the life and vibrancy of our communities. Now therefore, I, Randy Pogue, Mayor, do hereby proclaim June 15th, 2026 as World Elder Abuse Awareness Day in Kearney, Missouri, and encourage all our communities to recognize and celebrate older adults and their ongoing contributions to the success and vitality of our country. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the city of Kearney, Missouri on this first day of June, 2026.
The board would like to join me with an opportunity to present this to Miss Marie.
Cheers, I guess. You already did see. All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Marie. Thanks again, Marie, for being here.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next item, speaking while we have friends here this evening, we have a couple members of the Kearney Richmond Council Board of Directors. We have Mr. Jason Hoyt here on the agenda this evening to represent the Old Firehouse Community Center lease agreement and Spark and Summer Pass programs agreement to facilitate the annual requirement. Mr. Hoyt?
Got my notes here, so I don't ramble. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to come in and talk to you all about the Old Firehouse Building and Spark Academy. I'm here to give a quick rundown of the Old Firehouse and Spark Academy programs and ask that we continue our partnership through 2026. I first want to apologize for these numbers coming in so late. They should have been turned in January or February at least. This is an area we will prioritize in 2026 season, and we will put measures on to track our funds, get better data, and have full accountability without relying on one individual to take care of this for the board. As you all may know, we've had a little turnover within the organization, including our executive director. I believe you all will see better reporting and crystal clear picture of the organization moving forward. I know you all have some numbers turned in earlier this year, but we were able to pull the necessary data to bring you better financial picture of the organization. And we assure the necessary steps have been implemented to correct issues heading forward. So for the Old Firehouse, you can see in our reports the usage per hour and then the usage per program. You can see a total usage of 1,913 hours. This includes all levels of programming for our organization. Unfortunately, we do not have revenue for these individual programs as they were grouped together previously. We do feel that these revenues still represent correctly within the number of youths at $31,269.28. The other revenues, we feel are a little low at $31,155 through the other programs. As stated above, we now set up to follow everything and every dollar. We have an account/bookkeeper and ladies at the firehouse that are taking care of reporting themselves. This and our treasurer helping to build out a complete listing, and QuickBooks will see precise numbers coming through. Moving on to the Spark Academy. So, first thing we'd like to announce, as of Friday, we have sold the building. The building is no longer holding us back in any way, shape, or form. We're moving all the programs, of course, back to the old firehouse. The building sale is actually bringing a building back downtown that was from downtown at one time. So we are happy about that, and we're able to clear our ledgers, so to speak. We thought this was something that we needed at the time, but after COVID, things looked a little different. The numbers didn't come back as we had thought. We simply found ourselves competing with the other after-school programs, including the school district and other daycares. Spark's numbers are a little lower last year, but the transition to a new employees taking over the program, we're positive that this and our other coming changes will help the community. After school and summer programming had a total of 796 individuals. Number of children was at 188, with 133 being from Kearney. That number of families was 163, with 130 being from Kearney. With these numbers, we can see the impact of our programs during the transition year. And the numbers presented, the Kearney residents number only includes Kearney residents. Holt and others are stated as non-Kearney. This does skew our numbers a little bit because our organization does cover Holt in our mission statement, but we wanted the city of Kearney to be, segregated out for these numbers this time. The next thing I was just gonna point out the budget that was sent over to you all. One thing I would like to point out, is down at the bottom of Spark Academy renovations and interest on the loans. Those numbers alone taken out of our budget, we would have almost broke even. So, we labored through, got that all taken care of, got the building sold, so we can actually look at everything clean this year. Are there any questions on the budget or anything like that?
I believe so. Thanks.
Oh, what is coming? Now, as I mentioned above, we have some changes coming that we are excited about. We're moving on from Spark and youth idea, We are moving on from the Spark and youth idea to Canopy and lifelong learning. We're investigating many aspects and asks of our community with the data that we should not only take care of and other programs for the youth, but for our entire community. The ribbon cutting, which we had a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if anybody saw that. I had a little blurb wrote up for me by the ladies that run Canopy. Canopy is a place where people of all ages can explore their interests, passions, and connect with others. Whether you're a youth, teen, or adult, Canopy is there to foster curiosity and lifelong learning. With Canopy right now, we are already starting into, within the next week or so, our Camp Canopy, which is the same thing as the Spark camps that we had. It's just under a different name. Treetop Tunes is an early childhood program that Debbie Elwood takes care of for us, where we bring in little munchkins and they sing and they dance around and everything, learning different things. We have that program in the mornings and in the evenings. I actually have a gentleman at the bank that he takes his kids to it every day, or every time they can. The next thing, the Discovery Labs. This is something that we've been trying to do for years, and that is get in and help wherever we can with the homeschool kids. And Discovery Labs is now, it's already started, and it takes care of the homeschool children in our community. We do want to grow this program because we believe that is a need in the city, to give these children somewhere to hang around and meet friends and actually learn a little bit also. The garage. The garage is a new thing that we just started last 2 weeks of the school year. And the reason why we did this was the police officers were getting called up to Lions Park, teens gathering around mojos, running up and down Highway 92. We were trying to find a way to, in direction from the school district, we're trying to find a way to get the teens to come to us, where they can not have programs that they have to go through for STEM or anything like that, but to simply hang out with their friends. You know, get a snack, get a drink, play ping pong, play video games, sit around, talk, whatever you want to do. And it was actually widely successful. We had a couple of days that we had food trucks, or a food truck down there, and the actual attendance doubled on those days. So we're investigating on what we're going to do moving forward with that. I think we may start with a couple of days a week when school kicks back up, but then if the need's there, we'll expand that program also. The Tech Cafe is open again. We used to have a Tech Cafe back like 4 or 5 years ago. It's a place where seniors can come in, and we have people there that can help them with their cell phones or help them with their computers. And this is not only for seniors, this is for anyone. So if you're like me and can't use your cell phone, they'll help you out. Another thing that we've started up, and actually I walked in on a few of these, we're doing ukulele lessons. And this is Debbie Elwood taking this on. She was a teacher in Kearney at one time and everything, so we are very happy to have her. But yeah, so we're doing ukulele lessons and classes. We have already started with community craft nights. We've had a few of them, and we're going to expand that program with Jennifer and Debbie. That's basically just where adults can gather, and we'll have some sort of craft that they will do, and then they can show off, take pictures, and go home. So we do have a outreach or a person who reached out to us already that wants to start a craft night where adults will come in and they'll make 2 crafts. One of them will be donated back. And I'm not sure the organization that is using this, I just have heard of it, but it is a totally free thing for the community that they take care of. We just have to be there to monitor it. So it's just another thing we're reaching out with. And then we want to start a parents' night out at some point in time. This will just give parents the ability to go out and have a little fun, and their kids will be protected at the firehouse with us or the senior center if it gets too big. In addition, we're looking into cooking classes for youth, middle-aged adults, and seniors. My idea with this, and we've been having talks with the gentleman that rents our kitchen right now, is teaching kids how to cook, is just fun, and he's kind of passionate about that as well. But also for middle-aged, for us, teach how can we cook on Sunday and have that for the full week, have meals for the full week and everything like that, just to ease some of the stress that we have to deal with every evening. And then for seniors, of course, he would like to put something together that shows them how to cook on a budget, so that on fixed incomes, they can live within their means and not get too outside of the box. Basically, all this that we're doing with Canopy and the restructure, again, it's for lifelong learning, it's for all of us. We'd like to have continuing education classes at some point in time in the firehouse or in the senior center. We would like to open up the classes that our instructors take at the senior center to be for all of us, so that we can all learn food handling skills and how to take care of seniors and such. None of this could have happened without the direction of Debbie Elwood and Jennifer Faust. They are 2 of our newer employees, well, not newer, they're both been there since December. One of them actually came in October. But those 2 ladies have really grabbed the bull by the horns, for lack of a better saying, and they're starting to straighten everything out. We're starting to see programs that are actually effective for our community instead of having 1 or 2 kids show up. And they have great ideas, tons of ideas that we're looking through and investigating right now. But, and I definitely don't want to stifle that by any means. I think every idea that can serve our community is the best. It is our idea with this new direction, we can continue to serve the youth while opening the organization to all citizens of Kearney. So that's all I have.
Good. Any questions from the board of the presenter?
I don't.
And I believe tonight's just a presentation, correct? Okay. All right. Thank you kindly for being here and all that you and your volunteer board do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
We'll move on to open public comments. Are there any members of the City of Kearney that would wish to address your elected board this evening under open public comments? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody on the board have any questions or items of discussion on the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none, if we can entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda is approved as presented. We have no ordinances to discuss this evening, so we'll move on to resolutions. The first resolution this evening is a motion approving Resolution 46, 2026, presented by Eric Marshall, our Parks Director, a resolution approving a contract with Kansas City Testing and Engineering to provide geotechnical engineering services for construction at Hall Park. Eric?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. This resolution before you is just that. It's for testing, doing some boring. Excuse me. There'll be 9 bores that will be drilled to a depth of 5 or 10 feet at the Hall Park location. We're getting close to selecting a general contractor. We have the bid opening, and this company that I'm recommending also did Lions Park, so we know exactly what they look for and things of that nature. And that's just that, so we can get the test done on the soil and in the areas of the parking lot.
Any questions from the board on the proposed resolution?
How many bids did we get?
We did not bid this out.
How many bids on the Hall Park?
We had 5 general contractors.
When will that be?
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
When will that be?
This week, as a matter of fact, Friday, we started talking about that. Larry Reynolds with Vario. We are to discuss tomorrow our recommendation, send it down to Jeff City, have the LWCF people look it over with our recommendation. They'll look over everything, and if they are in agreement, they will give us permission to come back to you with our recommendation and do a contract and then a notice to proceed. And I would figure that would be sometime in July where I come back to you with a contract award, bid award.
Almost there?
Almost there.
Excited to see that senior park construction start. If there are no other questions, if we can entertain a motion approving Resolution 46, 2026, a resolution approving a contract with Kansas City Testing and Engineering to provide geotechnical engineering services for the construction at Hall Park.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is approved. Next item is a motion approving Resolution 47, 2026, presented by Shelley Daniel, Public Works Director, a resolution accepting and adopting the Connected Kearney plan prepared by GPA. Shelley?
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Tonight I'm bringing forward a resolution to accept and adopt the Connected Kearney Plan. This citywide connectivity plan focuses on improving pedestrian safety and expanding transportation options while maintaining Kearney's downtown as the community's core. The study was primarily funded through a Planning Sustainable Places grant and facilitated through a partnership with the Mid-America Regional Council. The project team developed the study with extensive community input and engagement throughout the process. By adopting the Connected Kearney Plan, the city will be stronger positioned to pursue future grant opportunities because it establishes a clear vision for connectivity improvements, identifies priority projects, and aligns with both regional and local goals. With this study now complete, I recommend the board accept this resolution and formally adopt the Connected Kearney Plan.
Thank you. Any questions from the board on the staff report? I know we had a in-depth presentation a couple weeks ago. All right, seeing no questions or items of discussion, if the board can entertain a motion approving Resolution 47, 2026, a resolution accepting and adopting the Connected Kearney Plan prepared by GBA.
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Resolution is approved unanimously. That concludes resolutions. We'll move on to items for review and presentation. First up is our Finance Director, Stephanie Harris, with our April monthly financial report. Stephanie?
Good evening, Mayor and Board. This is our first month of our fiscal year 27. So we are currently 8% through our fiscal year. This first month's financials, the only thing I would say unusual about it is the administrative fees that get allocated to all the departments and funds was a little high in the very first month because of a one-time expense in City Hall. So that kind of skews some of the expense numbers. That should even out as we get through the year. And then the other thing that makes the first month look unusual is a lot of our one-time transfers are done the first month of the fiscal year. And so that will also skew both revenue and expense. The fund it's going to and the fund it's coming from will look a little unusual. Other than that, everything else looks fine. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions on the financial report? Thank you, Stephanie.
You're very
Next item is a presentation of the 2026 MS4 Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Ordinances presented by our city engineer, Lauren Schneider. Lauren?
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Lauren Snyder, the City of Kearney City Engineer. I also serve as the City of Kearney, Missouri Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, or MS4 Manager. Tonight I'm going to give you a brief update on the erosion and sediment control and illicit discharge and connection ordinances. You'll recall that we talked about these back in February when we did our annual report on our MS4. Next slide.
That's right. That was
So
in
the City of Kearney
Friday
MS4 permit
update.
requires the city to develop a stormwater management plan. This permit authorizes public entities like our city to discharge stormwater collected by its storm sewer systems to the waters of the United States. Development of this plan began way back in 2023. This is a 5-year process. The plan includes goals and interim milestones that must be met to comply with Missouri Department of Natural Resources. June 2026 is an interim milestone date for the city, and this is June 1st. We need to have a sediment and erosion control and an illicit discharge connection ordinance in June of 2026, so that's why we're talking about this. So the city's stormwater management plan, if you go to the next slide, is developed to address 6 minimum control measures. They include public education and outreach, public participation, illicit discharge, detection and elimination, construction site runoff control, post-construction site runoff control, and pollution prevention and good housekeeping. These required ordinances help the city meet some of those minimum control measures. In particular, number 3, illicit discharge detection and elimination. Number 4, construction site runoff control. And number 6, pollution prevention and good housekeeping. Next slide, please. So the first ordinance is the erosion and sediment control ordinance. This ordinance creates a regulatory framework for managing erosion and sediment during construction activities in the city of Kearney. It establishes permitting thresholds, plan review procedures, inspection requirements, design standards, stabilization expectations, enforcement authority, and financial security requirements for larger projects. The ordinance also addresses mud tracking and debris control on public streets and authorizes the city to issue stop work orders and penalties for noncompliance. So you might be wondering at this point, well, why is this important? How does this benefit the residents of Kearney? Well, this ordinance protects residents from construction-related erosion, mud, flooding, and infrastructure damage by requiring builders to control sediment and clean up their sites. It's really that simple. Next slide, please. So the second ordinance is the illicit discharge and connection stormwater ordinance. This ordinance establishes the city of Kearney's legal framework for preventing polluted or unauthorized discharges into the municipal separate storm sewer system, or our MS4. It supports compliance with federal and state stormwater regulations by defining prohibited discharges, inspection authority, best management practice requirements, spill notification procedures, and enforcement mechanisms. The ordinance provides the city with broad authority to investigate, abate, and recover costs associated with stormwater pollution violations. Again, you might be wondering, why is this important? How does it benefit our city? How does this benefit our citizens? This ordinance benefits our residents by protecting public health and water quality by preventing pollutants such as oil, chemicals, and sewage from entering the city's storm sewer system and our local waterways. So it's really about protecting public environment and health. So that really concludes this overview of the new city MS4 sediment and erosion control and illicit discharge and connection ordinances. These ordinances will be on the agenda for adoption at the next Board of Aldermen meeting. At this time, I can answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions from the board?
I've got one. I know you talked about illicit discharges. I know there's multiple people throughout Kearney that have in-ground, above-ground pools, and myself included. And as part of that yearly bringing it up out of hibernation, so to speak, there's processes that you have to do. You know, you gotta get rid of some of the bacteria, I'll put it that way. Most sewer plants don't want it. The other part of that is, how do you get rid of it? What's this gonna do as far, are those considered illicit discharges?
It's a great question. As a former pool owner myself, you do a lot of backwashing, all those things that have to be done. A pool is not considered an illicit discharge as long as you have the chlorine level below 1 part per million. And your normal pool testing strips, those little ones in the bottle that cost like $8 a bottle, you just need to do one of those tests, see that you're below 1 part per million, and you're good to backwash and flush that water down the stream.
Okay, I've had a lot of people ask me that question, partly because they know I have a pool, and they're like, well, what are we gonna do with that? So that was the purpose of the question, so.
Thank you for the question.
So on each construction site, they're gonna be required to have a silt fence.
Yes, sir. Potentially. So we have 2 different permits that we're gonna do for land disturbance. One for sites that are less than 1,000 acres or 1,000 feet, and then one that's larger than over 1,000 feet. So each one of those permits requires for them to submit a plan for review, and that'll go through me and I'll take a look at it. For your home build sites, some of those now don't require, we don't have any requirements for silt fence on those. This would say, hey, per this permit, you're supposed to have silt fence around this site. And so you will see more silt fence on individual home build sites being required.
Okay. Do you know what that roughly would cost a builder?
Cost per builder, I mean, your reputable builders are already doing this. There shouldn't be that much more cost to stay involved with that. You're talking from a few hundreds to $1,000.
Before this, I know this is not getting adopted tonight, right? But if this does, we need to contact builders, give them a heads up,
Um,
just so they're aware of the additional cost of the silt fence.
I think we could most definitely do that, but I thought that silt fencing was already required as part of our,
We have a no mud on the street ordinance, so.
and so, I know
Yeah, I didn't think this was new.
a lot, some of our builders, I think, do
Some
that,
do.
some don't.
Some do, some don't.
What I'll say is, I finance a couple hundred homes a year at my bank, and when I'm approving draw requests or budgets for builders, Northland Erosional, NEC, I see them and their stuff everywhere. I'd say it's anywhere from a couple $100 to probably $500 total cost. I know, I'm not saying that that's not impactful, right? Because it's really easy for the governmental bodies and organizations that aren't right trying to sell that home. I know every little penny adds up. But I hear what you're saying as far as to be good partners and to share
Make
that with
them aware
our
of-
builders.
Make sure you got the silt fence.
So there are a lot of builders, so can you define what builders, like, do you want anyone that's pulled a permit last year and this year? Would you like, can you give us some parameters?
Are probably just our typical builders that are already building now.
So just anyone that has an active permit now?
I'd say within the last 2 years.
Kevin, I think, has been trying to communicate that to some of them, so I don't
Okay,
know
good.
exactly who, but he has been out in the field talking to some people. And anybody who, any of the builders who have already built in Kansas City or in Liberty or in
It's
Smithville,
required.
they're,
Yeah.
those cities are already in this.
And I just hear from them that the extra cost of the silt fence, because silt fencing is not cheap.
Yeah.
I think his comment that most of the reputable ones are already doing it.
I agree they should, I'm just
Yeah.
worried about the ones
There
who
are
don't, that are in
always those
town,
few.
who have built for a long time in this town, and then they're hit with, oh, we have to do this, I didn't know.
I think your recommendation of communicating in advance is important. I think staff also got what they needed to from your direction as well. If there's nothing else, Mr. Lauren, thank you kindly for that report and your work, and look forward to the ordinance in a few weeks. Only item I have under mayor's communications this evening is I wanted to remind everybody that this Wednesday at noon, I have the honor and privilege of providing the city my last State of the Union, State of the City speech. I've heard it called all kinds of different things the last 8 years, but same message I provide every year at Clay County EDC's annual event as well, but nothing like being here at home, presenting it in front of my own friends and community. So this Wednesday at the Chamber Luncheon, if anybody would wish to see that presentation. And that's all I have for mayor's communications. We'll move on to city administrator's report.
I do want to tell everybody that the National Community Survey is now open, and there is a link on social media and also in the citizen newsletter that went out today. And it's open to anyone that would like to take it. The Market at the Park, the next one is going to be on Thursday. I want to tell Sunday, Colleen, and Eric, amazing job.
Yeah, that was good.
I think it was a hit. Vendors had nothing but good things to say, and we've already had more vendors reaching out because they want to now be added, so.
One sold out within a couple hours, others were pretty close,
I
right?
think he had 3 or 4 minutes sold
Oh,
out.
really?
Yeah.
Nothing But Cakes brought 180 cakes and they sold out.
Oh my gosh.
Chick-fil-A ran out of chicken and had to go get more.
Yeah. And there was 2 guys that were making sourdough bread and they sold out, like, boom, it's gone. Yeah, that's all.
And by guys, he means junior guys.
Yeah, junior guy.
How cool.
The yeasty boys.
Used to be-
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is this? I did have I was, while we're on that topic, I was at Kearney Nutrition Saturday, rode my bicycle up there to get a little Herbalife tea, and I was talking to the group there, and one of the other customers like, where's Farmers Market? Is it not coming back this year? You know, like, where's it? I'm like, oh, well, you missed it. It was Thursday. And by the way, you missed an amazing event. And so, like, well, why change it? And I'm like, well, because the organizations that ran it didn't have the volunteer or time or the want, and city staff took it upon themselves to get it going and keep it going. And that's when they could volunteer their time to get it figured out. So, but seriously, thank you, Eric, Colleen, Sandy, and everybody working so hard to keep that in our community.
And then Food and Flicks Fridays, the very first one is going to be June 12th, also at Lions Park. And the first movie is the SpongeBob movie. So we have a lot of exciting things this summer.
I also, I don't know if anybody else noticed, the park was just packed this weekend too. I mean, I think several hundred kids for a couple birthday parties at one time too. So it's just that time of year to please be cautious at crosswalks and everything else. We'll move on to Alderman discussion. Alderman Spencer.
I just want to say that the FIFA stuff is on a roll and Argentina has already arrived. A lot of good things hopefully will come our way. The museum is part of a group called Charisma that is historic sites, museums, and archives around the region, both Platte, Clay, and Ray counties. And this is the paper that they all will be putting out. It has already gone out. And look who is top, front, and center. So we're really excited. Feel free to take one and pass them on. So this is a good thing. Hopefully it draws a lot of people to our community.
Great, thanks for sharing. Alderman Lehman.
I've got to piggyback on your comments about the market in the park. I purposely drove by. Sunday, I was amazed. The actual area where the market was just absolutely packed. There were people parking over in Old Church Plaza. There were people parking on Washington Street. There were people parked on Clark Street. There were people walking on Clark Street. And it's just, you know, I too have had a lot of people ask me, why Thursday? It's the middle of the week. You know, we go there, we do that stuff on Saturday and you try to reiterate to people that, you know, the same thing that the mayor said. But I was pleasantly surprised with all the people and the parking and I have family that lives very close to the park, and so far I haven't heard anything from them about all the cars, but it was just, I mean, Second Street was packed, the park was packed all weekend. So great job to you three, you knocked it out of the park.
Alderman Holt.
Well, I agree with all of you guys about that. One of the cool things about the farmer's market was we actually have some friends of ours, our new friends. They just moved to town and they had their first booth over there. Got to meet Sunday this week. And they were telling me how impressed they were with everybody and how the town has really supported it and how many people were so happy that the farmer's market was next to the park so they could make the kids, or not make, let the kids go play so mom and dad can go and shop and do stuff. And so it's a good mix of where it was at. I think this is going to be very successful. You did a fantastic job. Heard nothing but great things about you guys with the vendors that set up. And I look forward to having a great summer here. I really do.
Alderman King?
I got nothing. But good job, Sandy.
Thank you for letting us use the parking lot. We really appreciate it.
And how nice to get Chick-fil-A 5 minutes away instead of driving in
Yeah.
Liberty.
Yeah. I tried, but they were sold out. Yeah.
I know, exactly. A lot of people were like, wow.
Other thing I'll add is, I did notice Miss Lori Hepler, who is a amazing small business owner here in our community. She did also, I think, well, I don't think I know, I seen with my own eyes on social media. She took it upon herself, I think, to help spread the word about the market in the park, also encourage residents. But I think, her business, she stayed open and I think took advantage of dropping several hundred potential customers in our downtown corridor. So I would just encourage the rest of our business owners to also take advantage of the opportunity of dropping several hundred potential customers in front of your doorstep.
Several of them
So-
did, 3 birdies
Yes.
and, yeah, it's good.
All right, we do have an executive session notice up this evening, a closed session per RSMO 610021 subsection 1 for legal actions or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys, and RSMO 610021 subsection 12 to discuss matters pertaining to negotiated contracts. And this is a reminder that our meeting will be adjourned from closed session. So we can if we can consider a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman King?
Aye.
Alderman Holt?
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer?
Aye.
Alderman Lehman?
The vote is unanimous and we will enter into executive session. Everybody have a nice evening. Thank you for being here.